Hey, we're live, guys. We're live. I'm Jeff with eBay Addicts, and today my special guest is Katey Reads. That's what Joey would say if he's here right now. What's going on, Katey Reads? How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Jeff. Thanks so much for having me on the show. It's been a
For
fun,
sure, for sure. It's the
easy one
first
weekend.
time I got to catch up with you. I think I first saw you on Primetime Treasure Hunter show. It was a couple months back.
Yeah, that was back in October. That was my first time ever on YouTube. So that was fun. I loved Dom. He was awesome. He did a really good job, like helping me learn how to be live on YouTube, I guess.
Right. So now you have your own YouTube channel. First of all, go ahead and introduce yourself in case people don't know who you are. Tell people who you are, where you're from, and tell them what you do.
Okay. So my name's Katey, aka Katey Reads. You can find me on pretty much any social media platform. I work a 9-to-5 at an animal shelter for a nonprofit organization, and then I'm an operations manager there. And then I resell on the side. I've been reselling on Amazon and eBay primarily. I just started into Mercari and Poshmark. I don't like clothes, so I don't dabble in Poshmark a whole lot. And I'm in Michigan.
Okay, awesome. So you're in Michigan, and we were talking last week. You said that you work a full-time job, you're in college full-time, and you're also a reseller and a YouTuber. So tell us about all of that. We got so much to catch up on. So tell us about everything that's been going on in your world, Katey Reads.
So I'll be done with my bachelor's degree in business in December of this year. And I was previously an assistant vice president of commercial lending at a bank. And I left that after 12 years and decided to go into the nonprofit world. Corporate world just wasn't really for me. And then I've been in the bookstagram world for a while. Like I write short stories and fiction on the side. So I've been writing since like 2016. And so getting into the bookstagram world kind of got me into like some other things. I've always flipped on eBay. I've been flipping on eBay for the past 10 years, but like I didn't really take it serious until 2019. And then that's when I started with Amazon. And it's just like, so I've just been slowly growing and figuring out what works for me. And I know books, but I'm a nerd. Books are my thing. So I know books, and that's what I started reselling because that's what I knew. You always start with what you know. And then I've just kind of gone from there. Instagram is like where I'm the most active. And then just recently I started launching my YouTube. Like it wasn't my intention to really start YouTube this year. Like it wasn't really my intention, but there's so many people that like leave money on the table with books for eBay. Like everybody talks about Amazon, but nobody talks about the money you can make with books on eBay. So I just feel like I can give some value to some people because I've been doing it for 2 years now and making decent money. So I run a free book pickup business in my local community. So because I didn't have any capital to start my business. So Matt Adolph, my mentor, he taught me a lot. He's My World Ecom on Instagram. He taught me a lot about getting free inventory. So I run a service where I pick up books that people don't want anymore, and then I flip them. And so in order to like not have a bunch of duds, I found ways to monetize books that can't go onto Amazon. And so that's where I feel a lot of people don't have knowledge, is like how to monetize the books that you can't send to Amazon. And a lot of people aren't interested in Amazon for whatever reason that might be. And a lot of people just want to stick to eBay or Mercari and what they know. So I'm just kind of hoping to, I guess, talk about things that a lot of other people aren't talking about right now in the reseller world.
Okay, awesome. I just wanted to catch up with some people in the chat. We got I for Profit. He says, "What's up, everybody?" We got my buddy Prison of Profit is here. Hey, I caught your show earlier. You're talking about getting out of debt, and I'm with you on that, Prison of Profit, as far as working and getting out of debt. And there are some creative ways that people would like to look at as far as getting out on debt. The biggest thing about getting out of debt is just being able to live life on your terms. Not when someone say, "Hey, you have to be at work at 9 a.m. on the dot." You're like, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir," because you're constantly in this loop of cycle of trying to get out of debt. And the weird thing is, it's like finally you get your car paid off, and then people go trade their old car in to get a new car. So it's like they're constantly in that big circle. So I wanted to say hi to Drifting After Work. Says, how's everybody doing on this fine Sunday? We have King James is here in the house. Says, hello, everyone. We have I for Profit. He says, where can we find your books? Tell them.
I have a link in my bio on Instagram. They're short stories, so they're like really quick reads. And it's called my Amazon author page. You can click on that and it'll show all the stories I've written so far.
Yeah, I checked out your Instagram last week. I was like, man, Katey Reads is talented. She can hold a full-time job. She's going to college full-time.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're doing reselling and you're a published author. I was like, wow, this girl's smarter than right. Yeah, right. No pressure, no pressure. So we have out country sales is here. Rachel H is here and says
Hi,
hello
Rachel.
all. So thanks for coming by, Rachel. He says getting free book pickups hustle is really cool. Great way to get zero cost inventory. Red Dirt Picker is here. Rebel Junk is here. Says, hey, eBay addicts. And Katey, thanks for coming out. P2P is here. Sal is here hanging out. Thrifting after work and out country sales. So you want to touch on that a little bit about how to get free inventory? Because I've actually done it, guys. If you guys look online on Craigslist, like on a Saturday, preferably on a Sunday, you'll see people that had maybe yard sales and they have all this stuff left over from yard sales that they don't want to pack back in their garage or they don't want to take it back into the house. And they'll take a lot of this merchandise and put it out to the street curve. And you can get merchandise for free. If you go to the Craigslist section and type in go to free, you'll see all this stuff that's left over from yard sales. And they'll have the address listed. The stuff will be out of the street curve. And all you have to do is pull up to the street curve, grab the stuff you want, put it in the trunk and roll. And then anything that's junk, of course, you can trash it. Anything that's you don't want to keep, you can donate it. And anything that's resellable, of course, you can look it up and resell it. So I'm not an expert on books. I mean, I have sold books in the past on eBay, but usually it would be like ones that I either got for a quarter or 50 cents or some that I found on the side of the road for free, and then just scan the barcode and list them online. And the good thing I like about books is they're easy to ship as far as they ship media mail. So I think media mail is like $2.89 or something.
It just depends on the weight of the book, but it's cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as it's under a pound, it ships media mail. And a lot of times they don't take up a lot of space. You can easily scan the barcodes and look them up. And then whenever you ship them out, you just drop them in like a 6x9 padded envelope or whatever, slap a label on it, and it goes out the door. So talk to us a little bit about your reselling adventures as far as reselling books, because I feel like there's a lot of people that walk right by books. Maybe they're at a thrift store or they're at a yard sale or an estate sale. And it's not because they don't want to fool with them. They just don't have enough knowledge to feel confident in that area to feel like that they're going to be able to flip them and make a profit. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. So I feel like a lot of people think like unless it's like a scanner and software and Amazon, like you can't really make money on books. And that's not really true. Like you can still make money with nonfiction. Like I guess if you were going to a library sale or an estate sale or garage sale or somewhere where you had to purchase the books, my advice, my professional advice would be to go to nonfiction first and textbooks, like scan all of those, because eBay has a barcode scanner. Like all you have to do is just scan the back of it, or do talk to text and say the ISBN number into the search bar and find the book and look at the sold comps. Like it literally, it takes me longer to look up a certain specific style of Nikes than it does for me to look up a book on eBay. So I just feel like it's just the intimidation of not knowing anything about books. That's why a lot of people like don't even try and pick them up. And another thing a lot of people sleep on is kids' chapter books. Those sell like hotcakes for me. Like, I mean, anything Goosebumps, anything Babysitter's Club, Boxcar Children, even like the more modern stuff like Captain Underpants and stuff like that, like grab those. If they're under $1, just collect them over time and you can totally flip them as a lot for a really good price. And I mean, like you've got like your Nancy Drew Hardy Boys, all of that too. I've just started dabbling in antiquarian, so I don't like have a whole lot of information about that yet because I'm still learning it. But even like the old books, really old Bibles, like I had a Bible that I got for free in a free book pickup, but it was just huge. It was like one of those really big 1800s family Bibles, because back then Bibles weren't like really mass produced. It was, you had a family Bible, like each household had a family Bible, and it was tore up and like really nasty. And I sold it for $45, and the person's going to put it back together and restore it and do a bunch of stuff with it. So there's just a lot of stuff with book. It just takes a minute to look it up, and then making sure that do the same thing as you would for any other product you're going to buy. Make sure the profit margin is there for you.
Yeah, I don't know. For some people, reselling books or reselling Bibles is controversial, but I don't have a problem with it, because I'm like, if the person wants to buy a book, they're either going to buy it from you or they'll buy it from someone else. So I don't see, it's not like you're not breaking the law. I don't feel like you're doing anything immoral by reselling Bibles. Matter of fact, I recently went a couple weeks ago to the Dollar Tree. They have these like Bibles that I picked up. One was a black one and one was a white one, and you can pick them up for $1. And then the idea is you can resell them on eBay, and it's like a replenishable item, and you can resell them over and over again. If you know the ones I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've done it. And I think when it comes to religious items, like for me, it's just, I don't see it as like a taboo thing. I see it as like, I'm giving this book a second chance in another home, because for me, there is like a personal mission there. Like, I don't want to see books in landfills. Like we have a big environmental problem with stuff. I don't know if I can say that word, stuff into the landfills. So it's just, I feel like I'm getting it to another home with someone that's going to appreciate it and use it. So that's just my personal thing with it.
Okay, cool. We got the chat is moving today, so let me get caught up on the chat.
I see that.
I know Connie is here. Says, hey, Kelly Reseller Lewis, I wanted to say hi to my buddy BK from the Rockies. He says an old Bible can be really cool. Some families can use it for a larger family ledger and document family events. Yeah. It's funny.
Some
my dad had
actual like photo albums in them.
Yeah, my dad used to have a Bible when he was younger, and it was like 20, 30 years later. He had this Bible that he would like write and leave notes and write documents or whatever in it. And like 20, 30 years later, when he was an adult, he got it. And he was so happy to have it back because he thought he had lost it. He was just so emotional having that back because it was like almost a memory of his childhood, because it brought back all these different milestones and events that happened in his life. King James says, I have a question about the courier business. I saw your video on making $700 to $900 a day. You told me what not so good days look like. Thanks. Yeah, man. Not so good days is like when they don't give you work. Those are the not so good days, because I only get paid on commission. So that's pretty much the way it works. So every time I want to work, it's just an app on your phone. You clock in and work whenever you want to be off, and whenever you want to work, and you're off when you want to be off. So those are the not so good days. Or days when I'm broke down on the side of the highway for 4 hours, or I'm driving down the road at 70 miles an hour and my tire blows out and I'm swerving so I don't get hit by a semi truck. Those are probably days that are not so good days. But I mean, you're going to have good and bad in anything you do. If you need help, you can send me a message on Instagram, or you can send me a direct email. I answer all my email messages on Instagram. I wanted to get caught up with the chat. We had Farm Girl Scavenger is here.
Hello.
Hey, Farm Girl Scavenger, thanks for coming by today. We have I for Profit. He says, anything you can touch, somebody made money off of it. Sorry, I get triggered by people get mad about somebody making money even off a Bible. I mean, that's what we're here. We're here to be resellers. And if you can help people out along the way, I don't see nothing wrong with it. I mean, because, okay, if this person wanted to go buy a Bible, what difference does it make if they bought it from a bookstore? If they went to like, what was that bookstore called? The one that used to be a brick and mortar one? I can't remember the name of it. And people would go buy books there all the time. I don't see the difference. It would be if they went to there or bought it online. You know the one I'm talking about.
Are you talking about Barnes and Noble or Borders?
Yeah.
I mean, it's no different than them going into a brick and mortar. I agree. Hey, Lewis.
Say hi to Sir Flips a lot. Red Dirt Picker is here. Kelly Reseller Lewis. Regina is here hanging out with us. Connie. P2P is here. And there was a question I'm trying to get back here. He says, I hear there are a decent amount of counterfeit textbooks out there.
Tay asked, do you run across counterfeit books? You can with things like textbooks and like reference manuals like the DSM-5 and things like that, high level content books like that, you can. The best way to check a counterfeit book is to, I don't have a book close by me. Well, I do.
I don't believe that.
So the best way to check for a counterfeit book is like if the glue here is...
I'm going to put you on full screen so we can see the book. Go ahead.
if the glue here is like super thick, or if this isn't like properly aligned, this should be centered. Like if it's professionally published and a true version of the book and not counterfeit. And then sometimes like this can be really blurry and not like your scanner may not recognize it. Like sometimes that's some signs that the book might be sketched. And there's even been times like sometimes resellers will just scan the barcode, throw it in their cart, take it home, list it on Amazon, and not even look inside the book. And first of all, that's a mistake because I have found money inside books. So y'all need to be going through the pages of the books. And second of all, like sometimes the pages can be like completely upside down. So like someone's taken the cover off and then put the cover on upside down. And that's another way to know that it's a counterfeit book. So there's also a website where you can like take like a little course. It's like Stop Counterfeit Books or textbooks or something like that, that kind of like helps you understand how to spot counterfeit books. But yeah, you'll definitely run across them. So like you still have to be diligent. It's no different than like, you know, certain brands of clothing or any other fakes that might be out there. Like you always have to be diligent with that. I don't think eBay is offering any support right now like they are for clothing. I think they have like this thing now where you can verify that a piece of clothing is really Gucci or really, you know, whatever brand name. I don't think they're offering that on books right now, but hopefully that'll be something they'll do in the future.
Okay, awesome, Katey Reads. So I wanted to get into a little bit of your not like personal life, but I wanted to talk a little bit about what your plans are, because you said that you're going to be graduating college soon, and you said that you were working previously at like a corporate job, and you left there to go work at this like this animal shelter. What is your plans when you graduate college, or what do you have like your future endeavors? What are you going to use this degree for? Are you going to maybe go in business for yourself and try to be a full-time reseller, or are you going to try to go in the corporate world and climb the corporate ladder? Like, what are some of your plans that you have once you graduate college? I'm just curious. I was just wondering.
Yeah, I'm done with corporate. I won't ever go back into the corporate world. I love my job at the animal shelter. I love being in nonprofit. It's spiritually fulfilling for me, I guess. And there is some freedoms with it. You know, in the corporate world, I couldn't have a nose ring. I had to have tattoos in certain spots where they could be hidden. Like, you know, I can kind of be myself, my authentic self more in the nonprofit world. So I don't necessarily know that I'm going to totally eliminate my 9-to-5 job, but I do plan to scale my business because I feel like everyone uses the term full-time and part-time reseller. And to me, that just means the money that you have coming in. That doesn't necessarily mean the time or job part of it, because I know a lot of people that work like 10 hours a week and are making $50K a year. So I just feel like once I'm done with my degree, I'll have a lot more opportunity to scale my business, expand my social media presence, which I don't necessarily know that that's something I want to do, but maybe, and grow my business to a point where, you know, I can maybe have people working for me over time so I can kind of do my thing and own a business. You know, I don't necessarily want to jump into another job where I'm like working for myself. I like the idea of being a business owner. So yeah, I think that's where I'll go with it, and where my degree will probably do a lot of good in my life. So, and I'm almost done. Like I have like 4 more classes and I'm done. So for me, it's just about getting it done. Then I'm done with college forever.
Right. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's like you're getting closer, and you're like, I can see the daylight at the end of the tunnel. You're almost there. So I'm happy for you. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know when you get to celebrate, you'll be able to celebrate all this extra free time that you have now that you were spending going to school. So I wanted to say hi to Meritech7, says hello, eBay addicts and guests. King James is in the house. He says, is it hard to compete with online audiobooks? And Farm Girl Scavenger says, I just sold a vintage collectible signed book for $400 2 weeks ago. I love books. And she also said that Christian bookstores have no issues charging $180 for a Bible. So that's what we were just saying, that, you know, it's the same thing. If someone wants to go buy it at a brick and mortar store or buy it online, your job is to either provide products or services to your customers. That's it. So that's pretty simple. You want to try to add value to them. whether it's a book or a video game or a DVD or a pair of shoes.
Yep.
I mean, you're there to help provide products and services to the people. Red Dirt Picker says, what is the best resource to find valuable and older books that don't have barcodes? So let's tackle these one question at a time.
So many
King,
questions.
I know. King James says, is it hard to compete with online and audio books? So I'll let you answer that one first. No?
No, every book has its market. And to me, it's like no different than people wanting to buy a VHS tape of this classic movie because they're a collector and they want the VHS. They could watch it on Prime Video right now, but they want the VHS. So, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like every buyer has its, you know, its wants and needs and nostalgia and collector or, you know, whatever. Some people like me, like, I don't really listen to a whole lot of audiobooks. I like the tangible opening up a book and reading it because that's just my experience. And like I said, I'm a nerd, so I just like books like on that level. So I guess I don't have like any audio books or ebooks to like that, you know, you can't really like flip that content. As far as like being a writer though, yeah, like I do recommend having an ebook and a paperback version, like a physical copy version of your book if you're going to write something, because yeah, you want to appeal to both markets. But as far as flipping, I don't feel the competition, I guess.
Yeah, Red Dirt Picker says, what is the best resource to find values of older books that don't have barcodes?
So this is a good question. So on eBay, you can find some books, you know, you can do a Google search and get an idea. It'll show you a lot of different markets. I use Biblio. There are some other websites that are out there for antiquarian that I've started looking into. The thing is, though, is a lot of those sites require a membership. And like, I'm the kind of person, like, I need to know the value that I'm getting if I'm going to spend money on a membership just to have research. But I'm also a person that has keep. So, I mean, you know, it's just, I guess it depends like how often you're going to be using it. But as far as like the ones that don't have barcodes, you also have to remember to go into the first couple pages of the book, and the ISBN number is going to be inside there. That's also where you're going to see the year of publication and know what edition and what publisher published it. So just because there's not a barcode on the back, you may want to flip into the first couple pages, unless it was, you know, a book before probably 1960s. If it was published, you know, before the 1960s, you're going to have a hard time because they didn't really have like ISBN until the 60s. So.
Yeah, I was going to say on eBay, what I do if I can't find an item with a barcode, you can either type in the name of the title of the book and just say Moby Dick
title
from 1975 or whatever. Boom, type in book. Or if you have a smartphone, you can just take a picture of the front of the cover of the book. And usually 9 times out of 10, when I don't know what something is, I'll take a photo of it.
Good too. I get a lot of foreign language books, and Google Translate helps me a lot out with figuring that out.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, me personally, I'll take a picture of that item, and then if you go on the eBay app, there's a little thing there where you can look up a photo and you can compare your photos with other listings that are active on eBay, and sometimes that helps. Usually, I'd say 9 times out of 10, that helps me find the item that I'm looking for. Sir Flips a Lot says, "Preach, Katey. I hate having the full-time versus part-time conversation." Well,
I know you do, man. I feel you. I feel like we're on the same page with that because I've heard you talk about that too. Like, I just don't like that wording. Like, I feel like it's the mentality of what we're trying to get away from is the job, you know, speech, I guess. Like, I don't know, the dialect of like the job world. Like, I feel like using part-time, full-time, like, I mean, even if you work 5 hours a week, but you're bringing in $1,200 a week on your online reselling, like, you're a reseller. It doesn't matter to me if you're part-time hours. Like, that's job talk. We don't do that here. You know what I mean? That's job talk. We're resellers. It's different.
Well, what I like about reselling is you know, you're going to get out of it what you're willing to put into it. So you can't like, absolutely. It's like, I can't compare myself to somebody else and say, oh, well, I only made, you know, $500 or $1,000 this week reselling, where somebody else that's willing to put in more hours and more time and put in more work, they might be making $5,000 that week. But if it's like if I'm selling video games and
or
this
they
person's
just have
selling
higher
shoes,
ASP items.
yeah,
But
it could be, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're comparing apples to oranges. It's
yeah,
completely different niches, completely different markets, you know, and maybe the other person you're comparing yourself to, you don't know how much money they have tied up in the item. You know how long it sat on the shelf before it's sold. You know,
what
you don't know
their
what the profit margins are. Yeah.
lifestyle expenses, like $500 in 1 week could be awesome for somebody. Maybe their expenses are only, you know, whatever. And
Yeah. Right, right. That's what I'm saying. And somebody else that maybe lives in California, they may be paying $2,000 a month in rent, whereas my rent may be $350 a month. So it's a
can't
big
relate. Can't relate.
yeah, I'm
That's
just saying it
crazy.
would just depend on where you live, guys. So if you guys have questions for Katey Reads, drop it in the chat. I'm doing something different recently. If you guys want to jump on, if you have a question for our guests, I have a StreamYard link, and you can click on the StreamYard link and jump on and ask questions of our guests. No,
Don't
I have
troll me
plenty of
now.
questions for you. So I want to find out more about, first of all, we want to find out how can we find out if a book is profitable and if it's worth our time. Like when you're walking by, let's say you're at an estate sale or a yard sale or a thrift store, when you're walking by, I know you probably have an eye for these things, but how do you know, like, hey, this item is a $5, $6, $7, $8 item versus this particular book's going to be a $20, $25, $30 book? Like when you're going by it, and how do you know like the sales velocity of how quickly that item is going to sell? Because let's say this one item may sell for $10 and it may sell tomorrow, or you may have another book that sells for 25, but it may take 60 or 90 days for that book to sell, because it may be a longer tail item, because you sell both on eBay and Amazon. So if you can kind of clue us in and let us know like your philosophy or your strategy behind that.
So I'll sell anything that shows up. Okay, so for eBay, I'll sell anything that shows up in sold listings, because eBay shows you however far back, like 18, what is it, like a year, 18 months, something like that.
I think they show you the past sold for the past 90 days, I believe.
Oh, wow, I was way off. Well, anyways, I will sell anything that shows up in sold listings. I will make an exception if it's like my listing would be like one of 3 other listings. Like I might make an exception in that case, because it may just not have sold because some of those people are priced way too high. And if I come down a little bit lower, like whatever. And then as far as Amazon, I use software. Like I know a lot of, when you first start out on Amazon, yeah, totally, you can use the Amazon seller app as you like get money to buy things, but you're really not going to take off until you get a scanning software. Like that's just my personal opinion. I use Scout IQ, and my business took a total like 180 and excelled like really quickly once I got that. It paid for itself just in one, you know, the monthly cost of it can pay for itself with just one book sale. So what Scout IQ does is it scans the barcode or the ISBN number, or they also have a feature that it'll scan like the front page of the book, and it will tell you the e-score, which is how often it's sold, sales rank, and then it will show you how much profit you could potentially make from it based on your triggers. So like in your triggers, you would have to tell it how much, you know, or just do the math in your head, like how much you're paying to buy the book. And the cool thing about Scout IQ also is it does show you eBay comps. So I've used that software quite a few times while I'm scanning it. Like it may be a $- profit on Amazon, but I can make $10 on eBay. And sometimes that does happen. It's just kind of how it goes. Amazon is more like, I would say, more modern books. I'm like, don't come at me in the comments. I know some people sell collector stuff and sets and all that on Amazon, and that's great and that's fine, but I feel like that's not, like, Amazon isn't necessarily the first place people are going to go for collector things. I feel like they're going to go to eBay first. So yeah, I use software for sure. For Amazon, you have to.
Yeah, I was going to ask you some questions about Amazon, because I've heard of people using Inventory Lab and Scout IQ. Like those things are like, you know, are they necessary for people that want to sell on Amazon?
To start off with, no, but if you want to be making money and grow, yes. Because Amazon is a numbers game. Like you have to constantly be feeding it, and you have to constantly be sending shipments in, and, you know, constantly feeding it. And if you're doing FBA, like yeah, you really need to have that software, because it's also going to like base it on, your profit after the fees are taken out for FBA and all of that. And Scout IQ there's a live feature, so it's looking at live right now data, not database lagged data. My business just excelled so much faster and did so much better. I was picking up better books to resell. Like sometimes some books, once they hit the FBA warehouse, they're sold. So it's just, and I didn't have that before having Scout IQ. So yeah, in my personal opinion and my experience, yes, you need to have software for sure.
Yeah,
and it's like $14 for live a month. Like it's not crazy price. It works with Android and Apple. Like it's a really good app. Caleb Roth is an amazing guy, and he offers great customer service, great troubleshooting and customer support. He has Facebook groups. He puts out YouTube videos all the time. He's constantly trying to make the app better. Like I just have a lot of respect for Caleb, and so I wouldn't really use any other service besides Scout IQ, but that's just my personal opinion. There's other ones. There's like Scoutly. That's another app that you can use to look for books. Inventory Lab is really more for like listing and having reports and documentation and an organized structure to your inventory that you're sending in. I can't really tell you much about Merchant Fulfilled because I don't do it. I only do FBA because I'm already doing Merchant Fulfilled with eBay. So Amazon is kind of like my complement to that. That's inventory that I can get out of my house right away. And then my eBay is, down in my basement. So I don't want to commingle those if I don't have to.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up Amazon because sometimes people think, oh, I got this book for free and I'm going to send 10 books in and make a profit. And it's like, wait a second, just because you got that book for free, you have to add in that Amazon's going to have their pick and pack fees. They're going to have storage fees. You have to pay to ship it into Amazon FBA.
Yep. Right. I mean, the rates are super cheap. Like, don't get me wrong, like UPS, a full box, depending on the weight, I can send that in for $4. Like the rates are super cheap, but you do have those like kind of upfront costs to get started. And like Amazon seller app, like it's just so stale. Like the information isn't 100% accurate. And scanning software shows you like how frequently that book is selling, because you have to remember with Amazon, something could have a 5 million sales rank, get sold today, and its sales rank automatically drops down, and then it's not going to sell again for another 2 years. So it's just stuff like that you have to take into consideration when you're looking at books, because books are slow. They're kind of sometimes long tail. So
right. We got a bunch of questions in the chat here. I'm going to try to get caught up with them.
Oh my goodness, I'm so nervous.
Oh, don't be nervous. You're amongst friends. You're amongst like-minded people here, so you're good. I mean, we have 19 people in the chat. When you were on at prime time, you guys had over 100 people, so I think you're doing good. So we got Ian is here. He says, "Hey everybody." He says, "What platforms do you currently use that you currently sell on?"
Amazon, eBay. I'm kind of dabbling with Mercari with books, but right now strictly Amazon and eBay.
Okay. He asked another question. He says, "Do you have videos on your inventory systems? Curious to know how you organize your books."
A bookshelf. Like for eBay, the stuff that I send into Amazon, I mean, that's going to a warehouse. eBay, I have a bunch of bookshelves in my basement and I organize them by the author's last name. Like I kind of do it like what you would see in a library, because that works for me. So
yeah, I for Profit says Declutter is a free book scanning app. It's not meant for sourcing, but it is smart. You can easily see how to use it and quickly determine if your book is valuable based on what they will offer you.
Yeah, so is Sell Back Your Book, Book Monster, Zipit. Those are other places that you can put in the ISBN or information about the book and get an idea of what they would give you for it, and then you can kind of add maybe $5 to whatever they would give you, $5 or $10, and get an idea of what it would sell for. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, Ian says, how do you track your numbers? Spreadsheet? Do you have accounting software?
Yeah, so Caleb Roth has a inventory spreadsheet that I use. I also use Excelerlist. So depending on how you're wanting to scale with Amazon. I use AccelerList. I can get a shipment done in like half an hour of like 50 plus books with AccelerList. So I absolutely love AccelerList, and they give you reports, and you know, you can make custom SKUs and all of that. Honestly, if I were you, I would follow or go check out Caleb Roth, the book flipper, and Romer the Roamer, because they have tons of information out about that.
Awesome. Connie says, library edition of books, are there any restrictions for reselling books, or is it strictly on how it's bound?
No, so Amazon, I sell a lot of ex-library books. You just have to put it in the condition notes. And like if a book doesn't have a dust jacket, you just have to put that in the condition notes. I get, because of some of the sources I have, I get tons of ex-library books, and they're beat up and everything. And those sell. I mean, especially if you have a good lot of like a author that's like old school, or a certain, like, people even seek out certain illustrators for kids books. Like, it's just so crazy the stuff that people seek out. There's really literally a buyer for everything. So ex-library books sell really good for me. When I was talking with Dom on his channel, he kind of didn't really have a lot of success with ex-library, but I did. I think it just kind of depends. The ex-library books that I've sold really, really well are like children's books and chapter books.
Farm Girl Scavenger says, I really only sell vintage and antique books.
Yeah.
So such as on Amazon calls me to, I just can't do it. So
yeah, I know a lot of reseller friends that are like that, and some people just like straight up just don't like Amazon for whatever ethical reasons, maybe. I don't know, they just don't like Amazon. So that's kind of why I wanted to start my YouTube channel, to talk about selling books on eBay and other platforms. Like Amazon isn't necessarily the only way.
Okay, awesome, Katey Reads. So since we're talking about your YouTube channel, tell everybody where they can find you out on YouTube and Instagram, and tell us what possessed you to start a YouTube channel, because it's like one of those things. It's like, first you get started and it's like you're like in the honeymoon phase where you're excited about it, and then you're like, wait a minute, this is like a reoccurring thing. I have to put in the work. It's not like I could just, do it one time and it just goes on autopilot. So tell everybody about it.
You are so right. Like, you read my mind. So you can find me, Katey Reads is my handle on everything: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. You can find me on all that stuff. Yeah, with Amazon, I don't even know. Like, so every person I've talked to, they're like, why aren't you on YouTube yet? Why aren't you doing videos? Why aren't you talking about books? And then like some of my reseller friends were like, I want to do books, but I don't know what to do. And so like, I'm sitting here going back and forth with people, writing out paragraphs of stuff. And some things, like some people I'll share secrets with, but like on a mass platform scale, I'm like, people like really aren't talking about selling books on eBay. And then like I look it up, in the search bar on YouTube, and like there's some people talking about it, but like not a lot. It's just always Amazon, Amazon, Amazon. And then like a lot of my Amazon seller friends were like, I don't know what to do with all these duds. I'm donating them. And they've got tons of Goosebumps and Nancy Drew and stuff. And I'm like, no, don't donate them. Don't give it away. Like, that's money. And some people that do bulk, it's not worth it for them. Time is money. I get that. I respect that. But some people like want to still monetize their duds. And that was me. Like, I was getting free inventory. I wanted to pinch every penny I could get out of that free book. So that's what I started doing. And so I just feel like a lot of people don't know about it. So I guess that's what prompted me. And I had Dom's interview, and he was talking about that, and everybody's like, oh my God, you should get YouTube. You should get a YouTube channel. And then I was on Derek's show, and Derek roasted me because I didn't have a YouTube channel yet. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm going to put some videos out. I'm not making a commitment that it's going to be tons of videos every month, but I'm going to put some stuff out. And I guess I'm like in the honeymoon phase. Like, the first couple videos were really cool, and now I'm like, man, I got to remember to record when I go out sourcing today. I got to make sure to tell the people, whatever. But my channel is going to be more about a lot of different things than just reselling, though. I'm going to talk about reading and writing books too, and talk about different books that I read, and giving some shout outs to authors like me that are self-published and indie authors. So I have some other things that I want to do with the channel over time. So.
Yeah, guys. So if you want to follow Katey Reads, her link is in the description for her YouTube and Instagram. So go give her a follow. She recently started a channel, and it definitely, we got to support each other. So that's an important thing. I wanted to say hi to Regina is in the chat. She says great information today, Katey.
Thank you,
Farm Girl
honey.
Scavenger says you are doing awesome, Katey. Don't
Thank you.
stress. We have Derek here from Fundamentals
Derek!
of Side Hustling here. We got Onyx Audict. He says send your books to the Internet Archive. And Ian says, yes, very informative. We have
Thank
Thrifting
you.
After Work is here. And Nicole says,
I love
library
Mecca.
books sell well.
You're
We
giving
have
my
Eric
secret.
Hughes is here in the house. So now I wanted to talk a little bit about what exactly is it you do with these books that are duds, because do you like bundle them up? Do you maybe like put them in an auction and start the auction up at 99 cents to offload them? Or do you bundle them and say, okay, this is by a certain author, so I'm going to bundle these 3 or 4 books together and sell them as a bundle pair? Or how exactly? Because I sell a few books here and there, but it's not really my niche. So can you kind of explain or elaborate a little bit about what you do with them? Let's say I have 20 books that are duds in my house, and I'm like, this is taking up space. I want to donate them. I don't know what else to do with them because they don't sell for very much profit individually. What would you recommend that they do?
So author, yeah, that's always a good way to lot them together, by author, by series. Goosebumps has like the regular Goosebumps, then they've got like the R.L. Stine, then they've got Fear Street, then they've got, a couple other off editions, and then like some more modern Goosebumps. So like you could lot that really all together if you wanted to. I guess my thing is like you want to present it to the buyer that they're getting really good value. So like even if I just had a couple Babysitters Clubs, a couple boxcar kit, like I would probably lot up like 90s nostalgia together, maybe Nickelodeon, together. You could lot up like new age stuff, like if it's a bunch of books on like tarot card reading and spirituality and stuff like that, you could lot up a bunch of books like that together that are relevant. But author for sure is a really good thing to do. And sometimes like with lots, I'll still have people message me and be like, would you be willing to only sell me this? And sometimes that happens, and I'll say like, not right now, I'd like to sell it as is, but if it doesn't sell within the next couple of weeks, then I'll reach out to you, and then maybe I'll break out the lot. So that's, I would just say go for it. And then if people are interested in something else, they're going to negotiate with you and talk about that with you. And then you can kind of go from there. So yeah. And then my duds, like when people say duds for me are like, I'm getting nothing from eBay, nothing from Amazon, nothing from Sell Back Your Book, nothing from some other ways that I monetize that I don't really want to share. And then like, I can't, like, it's literally, I'm going to have to donate it. And then at that point, I donate it to my local service clubs. I donate it to, I'm part of the Southeast Michigan Migrant Resource Council. So I give a lot of books to our migrant workers. And then I give a lot of books to like daycares and places like that, where they don't necessarily care so much about the condition as much. Because sometimes, the books will be kind of beat up or whatever. But.
Yeah, I was just asking because I've seen some books on eBay sell for $5 free shipping. And I'm just like, okay, I know media mill shipping is $2.89. And even if you got the book for free, I'm like, where's the profit margin there for it to be worth your time taking all the photos of listed item to sell it for $5 free shipping? I just,
in volume, it can make sense. In volume, it can make sense. Like I've done that. I've had a book listed for like $6 or $7 free shipping because it was free, and and in volume that makes sense. And I think some people also kind of see it as like attracting traffic to the store, a way to get positive feedback, the algorithm, like all that kind of stuff. So I think people different things for different people. That would be my answer.
Yeah, I understand. It's just I've been on eBay for a while, and I feel like if I can't list an item on my eBay store for at least $10 and plus the customer pays shipping, I just don't want to spend my time and energy of listing that item.
And that's and then that's good. Like you have that in your mind then, and when you're outsourcing books, like that's what you're gonna do. That's where you're gonna be at for your price point. And then you just have to be okay, like maybe leaving that on the table and someone else coming and grabbing it after you and being willing to take the time for less, you know, whatever.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me. Just like your niche is books. I sell a lot of media items and DVDs. I just won an auction recently, and when this stuff comes in the mail, you know, I probably spent maybe $150, $200 for these DVDs. But if I could buy a big bulk in wholesale lots, and if I could sell them off individually for at least $10 a piece, we're looking at probably $3,200 worth of merchandise. So, you know, you're going to make about $3,000, I would say, gross, that you're looking at gross profit before eBay takes their fees out. So, you know, I think we have like-minded ideas as far as getting items on like wholesale prices where you're paying 50 cents, 60, 75 cents an item, and then reselling them retail prices. It's just, we're just in different niches. I wanted to say hi to the dumpster diver dad is in the house. I wanted to say hi to Hyphen Gold. He says, hey, Jeff and Katie, with like 5 exclamation marks. And Farm Girl Scavenger says we want to put you on full screen to make you feel good. So this is.
Oh, she
that's
knows
what she said.
To watch me on Tay's channel. Oh my God, that made me so nervous. I hate being on full screen, but I've gotten thick skin now, Farm Girl Scavenger.
Okay, well we're getting ready to find out. So here's the deal, Katie. I suck in English. Like I went to college and I failed English like 3 times. Like of going just the basic English thing. So me writing books is not my forte. But I did see that you have published books. So I want you to tell us about it. If somebody has author aspirations and they want to be able to self-publish their own books, they want to be able to publish books and sell them on Amazon, can you kind of give us a brief synopsis, a brief overview of how they can do that from A to Z, how they can publish their own books and sell them on Amazon? I'll put you on full screen because I'm no expert. Like I said, I'll have the commas up here, the paragraphs. I can't even put the little indentation in there. I just can't. I mean, I've tried. Like I said, it's just not.
Yeah, I can talk about my experience. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, awesome. Go ahead.
So my first recommendation would be, if you have writing aspirations, nonfiction or fiction, to talk to your local libraries and see if they have any writing groups. That was literally the best thing that I ever did, because my writing group, they do peer editing. They help you like think of ideas and just, they make your story better. They help you structure it better. Shut up, Dante. They help you structure it better. Just all of that, like having a group of people that you can, it's just like reseller community, like having that group of people. So, and it's free. Typically, as long as you're doing it through your library, it's free. And it's a way to stop putting them comments up, Jeff.
Go ahead. I'll try not to distract you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's a way to just, I think, learn from other people, because the more you read, the more you learn how to be a better writer too. So if you're peer editing other people's work and getting insight from other people, it just makes you a better writer. That's my first recommendation. My second recommendation is to understand what your writing style is and what type of books you want to write. Are you a short story person? Are you a flash fiction person? Do you want to like do, you know, under 1,000 words? Are you a novel person? What audience are you looking for? What type, like, what's your mission with behind writing and why you want to do it? And that's a deep dive. And I don't think enough people do that. I think people just like write a cool story and put it out there and they're like, oh, darn, why isn't anyone reading it? And it's like, well, you know, who's your audience? What are you trying to get across? Like, what's the deeper meaning behind your writing? Because then that helps you to the next phase of once you actually publish it to market it properly. Then after that, Amazon is really easy. They hold your hand. They walk you through the whole thing. Like literally, I wrote my story in a Word document. My sister, who's a graphic designer, helped me create the cover for it. Amazon has you download this thing called KDP. You download KDP, it converts it into a proper file for ebook for Amazon. They hold your hand through the whole thing. There's tons of YouTube content out there and tutorials. So literally everybody gets hung up about like, well, I don't know how to properly format on Amazon. Don't let that stop you. You need to be more worried about the content and the writing that you're putting in and how you're going to market it than worrying about getting it actually on Amazon. And then, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much as far. And then marketing, like I'm not crazy heavy in marketing with my writing because I do it for fun. I'm not really trying to like be an author big time and make money from it. But if that was something that you had aspirations to do, then yes, you need to learn the marketing side of things and get educated on that. I don't have a whole lot of information on that. And then also look up, publishers. You know, if you've got a really good story and you feel like you can do it, I would just start Googling, indie small publishers that might be looking for the types of stories that you can put out there or want to create. And, I have a friend in Canada. She self-published her first 4 books. She got denied 6 times by 6 different publishers. And now she finally was accepted from a publisher, and she's only 23 years old, and she's got a book that's in Barnes and Noble, in Canada and in the US. So like, that's really awesome. That's really cool. So another thing I would suggest is, if you like writing, to put yourself into competitions. I did a lot of writing competitions last 2019 and 2018. I did a ton of writing competitions. Like, I entered into so much stuff because I wanted to push myself, because it humbles you when you don't win. And then you need to understand why you didn't win, and then it makes you a better writer. And then sometimes you do win, and I did win a few. So I did win a few horror competitions. So just do things to keep like pushing yourself and making yourself a better writer. And I could probably talk about this for a really long time. So if you have any questions, just send me a DM and I'll help you the best I can.
Check it out, Katey. Check it out.
Derek.
It says $4.99 for full screen Katey. So we got Katey on the full screen, guys. So, hey, we appreciate you coming on and taking time to hang out with us today, because Katey Reads is I don't think that everyone is, I think we're all knowledgeable in certain niches and certain markets. Like, if someone came to me and said, Jeff, how do I self-publish a book on Amazon? I'm like, bro, I can barely change a tire on my car. Like, I can't help you. You're going to have to call somebody else. But I'm just bringing it up because there are people that make $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month publishing books.
And it's a good passive income. If you market it right and you have enough out there, like I would say every month my short stories, the ebooks are really cheap, they're 99 cents. So I see like 70 cents of that. But every month, like, I'm looking at 20, 25 bucks. So like, if I really pushed it and if I wrote more and did more and marketed it more, it could be a nice little passive income, because once it's out there, you don't really have to do a whole lot with it other than tell people it's out there.
Right. It's like, once you get the cover art for your book and you market it and you get the book, and once it's finished, it's finished. It's like, once your YouTube video is finished, you don't have to go back and redo the video 5 times. You've done it. It's uploaded once and it's out there in the universe. So I wanted to say thanks for the $4.99 super chat for the full screen Katey Reads right here, guys. So, hey, listen, guys, I would appreciate you guys if you go follow Katey Reads. I would like to see you hit 1,000 subscribers sometime this year, and I think you'll do it. I mean, because we're only in February, so by the time Christmas rolls around and Santa Claus comes to town, you'll be there. It's not going to happen overnight. You can ask Prison to Profit or Fundamentals of Side Hustling. I think it took me about 9 months to get to 1,000 subscribers, and then probably another month after that just to get my 4,000 hours of watch time. But just how you were talking about having to self-publish books can be a stream of income. Once you graduate college and you have more time to dedicate to YouTube, I think that you'll get there. I mean, today I looked on Instagram, we had like 35 people that had likes to see you come on the channel today. So you're way more popular than what you thought, for sure. So I wanted to make sure we didn't miss any questions in the chat. Connie says, did you purchase your ISBNs? And
no, Amazon assigned me one when I uploaded my book. Amazon assigns you an ISBN for your book.
Okay. Jocko says, I like your glasses. He says, cool. I think I'm going to write. Well, you got nothing to lose. I would also say, make sure you have a good editor, a really, really good editor. You can go on Fiverr and find some cheap ones, but make sure you have a good, and that's where joining a writing group will help you. Okay. Katey says, download the Buy Me a Coffee app for your YouTube girl.
Yes, ma'am.
That sounds good. You. Hey, Katey likes coffee. Prison of Profit says, does that mean videos every day? He wants to see you putting out content for sure.
No.
No. All right.
No. Dante gets a no.
That's a no. Well, you guys should go follow Katey Reads. I'm a subscriber of Katey Reads' channel. So if you guys want to take time, I've got the links down in the description below. Hit her up on Instagram if you want to ask her more questions about books, and go follow her on YouTube. So I want to thank everybody in the chat for hanging out with us today. Also, I wanted to acknowledge Derek for the $5 super chat today. We appreciate everybody in the chat for hanging out with us today, and we appreciate Katey Reads for coming on. So Katey Reads, give us your final thoughts on books, reselling, and go ahead and talk about that, and then we'll let you go.
I guess just final thoughts is, give it a shot. the worst that can happen is, you know, you decide it's not for you and you move on. And I would say get creative with ways of getting, you know, your inventory. Like every single week, I have at least 3 to 4 free book pickups every single week, you know, and if you want to know more about that, like I can hook you up with my mentor because he just recently put out an ebook about how to get free books like that. You know, but yeah, I guess I would say just give it a shot, give it a try, and, you know, see what happens. If you don't like it, move on to something else. Can't hurt you.
Okay, we have one more question. It says, did books pay for that nose ring?
So Dante is trying to troll me right now, and I am going to say to mind your business.
Wow. Jen's Closet says, hope you're enjoying your finger scanner.
I do. I love my finger scanner.
Your finger scanner.
Like the manufacturer reached out to me and they're like, can you leave a review on Amazon? Could you do a review on YouTube? We'll give you this, we'll give you that. I'm like,
wow.
What?
Katey Reads has got sponsors in the works. I'm impressed, Katey Reads. We're gonna have the Katey Reads sponsors. The Prison of Profit says, good show. Hey, thank you guys for hanging out with us today. You guys have a great weekend. I will see you guys tomorrow on Monday. I have Philly Flipper. He's gonna be on, and he buys and resells storage lockers. So I'll see you guys tomorrow on Monday. You guys have a great weekend. I'll see you then, and go follow Katey Reads. We're going to try to get her to 1K subscribers before she knows it. She's going to wake up and be like, what? I hit 1K.
Oh,
and then we're going to celebrate. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye.